Today it is time to look at a Zerg versus Protoss on the map Berlingrad. Spawning in the upper left, the red hatchery and drones, a champion by many titles, recently of Katowice, it is Serral. And his opponent in the bottom right with the blue nexus and probes, the wall of Protoss, ShoWTimE. Already got his low ground wall on the way. Namesake established. Actually, probe is going to be sent out after the gateway instead of the pylon, thus ensuring Serral's natchery going down. I think even he was a little confused. The drone went just a little bit past, like, are you doing anything over here? Which is not the case whatsoever. ShoWTimE actually just being a gentleman, being a polite Protoss. I know it sounds like a little bit of an oxymoron, doesn't it? Even a drone being pulled off the line, Serral is having none of the shenanigans this day. He got his natchery down in place, exactly where he wanted. Pool started just now. And the probe's gonna do the dance. Behind this, ShoWTimE is getting his own Nexus, followed by Cybercore. Not a Forge. This is not when you go Forge. Cannon rushers, you know who you are. Probe just being a little bit annoying now. Drones being produced, probably gonna have to cut to get the queen out and the Zerglings right as the pool finishes. ShoWTimE not going to be in any danger for the next few minutes, which means the next decision we'll see is probably going to be his tech choice. Is it going to be the ever so typical Stargate, or will we be surprised? Something maybe a little unorthodox, a Glaives push. Probably not a Glaives push. It's this little guy. What are you doing? Oh, it's a Stargate. Of course it's a Stargate. Serral gonna target down the rocks with the hatred and fury of all those Zerglings combined. Meanwhile, this Ovi gets to see everything, including the first Adept coming out, which I think was a little bit of a risk. If that had been a Stalker, if ShoWTimE had gone for a Stalker instead, that Ovi would have been in a little bit of trouble and would have had to high speed book it up to the high ground there. Adept Shade going into the main. Nothing too major, though. Serral knows the dance. He knows you send the queen out after the Adept, and the Lings follow the Shade. That's how you do it. Zerg, ladies and gents, of course. Queens, they're here. Pressuring. Knitting needles primed. Lings already in the main to help. ShoWTimE not going to complete it. Oracle is on the way. That is the choice. It's not a Void Ray, which means we have to clap. You can one-handed clap. Take your time with it. We must honor the choice of ShoWTimE to not go full double Stargate Void Ray this early. Oracle's going to go out. I don't believe he has seen the third. Okay. So he knows Serral's got that third base. Oracle, what's the choice? Is it going to be for harassment? Goes into the main and just parks over here. Oh, the queen's ready though. Serral knows about the Oracle. Moracles even being produced. Moracles, I say. Going up to 3. Triple Oracle. Totally fine build. Gives a good opportunity for early harassment. Guaranteed scouting. Couple queens here. Oh, couple drones gonna be vaporized. One does get turned into a spore, which saves its life, but 3 are gonna be lost. Meanwhile, Serral's just droning up. ShoWTimE might not want to let him, though. Sending the Adepts out to pair with the Oracles could be a nice pairing here. Splitting off a couple onto the side, likely to go into the third, while the others go for the natural. Queens, Lings, following the Shades. Do they complete? They do not. but the ones in the third do, and they're going to be recalled. Serral pulling the drones well before they are in danger. Very good timing, but the naturals exposed. Oracles come in, they vaporize 5, 6 drones. Meanwhile, Adept's also going to be picked off. Oh, and emotional damage inflicted to the main hatchery. Revelation is used. The most emotionally scarring of any spell in the game. Why, do you ask? Think about it. If you knew that someone was watching your every move, everything you do was being transmitted back to some advanced alien species, it'd be a little unnerving, wouldn't it? That's why Revelation is in fact the scariest spell in the game. Lair and Roach Warren on the way for Mr. Serral. ShoWTimE just focused on getting the third up. Robo Bay gonna be made. Is it Colossus? Is it Disruptor? Or perhaps something even more sinister? Observer Speed. Ooh. Probably not. It's probably not Observer Speed. Oracle's being used for Revelation. There's plenty of queens now, so moving in to try and snipe off drones would be kind of a bad decision. That'd be a bit rough. Warp Prism is going to finish. Robo Base still a few seconds out, so we won't know what that tech choice is going to be just yet. Meanwhile, a completely ragtag band of Protoss mercenaries moves out onto the field, scouts the edge of the creep line, and then aptly decides to head home. I agree with that, because, you know, a few sentries and 1 immortal, they're good. They're good, don't get me wrong, but they're not that good. Serral with the Infestation Pit. I was just thinking, that Infestation Pit seems a little early, but that's because Serral has plans. 9, 10 swarm hosts are on the way. That's no accident. We cannot make a joke about the accidental swarm host here. Serral is actually going to commit to swarm host to try and break this beautiful Protoss wall. Look at that. Oh, complete with stasis wards too. Oh, ShoWTimE. Magnificent. Disruptors are being produced along with Blink and +2 weapons. I'm not sure I like really any of those choices to deal with swarm hosts, though. Gonna need to see some more splash damage or some more air units. ShoWTimE might have to commit into something more air focused because the locusts are on the way. Will they connect with the stasis ward though? They go on, around, and they're blocked. Stasis completely. I love the idea. Countering locusts and swarm hosts with stasis. Disruptor shot goes forward, clips a roach. Second one, even better. Gets 3 to 4 roaches. Meanwhile, this group forced to watch the bloodshed as it unfolds around them. Hive on the way by 8:30. That's good. I like that. Hive gonna unlock a lot more options for Serral. He can go into Vipers to help deal with the disruptors. Blinding Cloud is great versus Stalkers, which are already arguably one of the more useless units, if I'm being a little honest here. ShoWTimE's Micro is good. Force Fields blocking off there. But the Locusts, oh, that's a good stasis. And then they just pop. They just evaporate. Stasis Ward is such an amazing counter to Swarm Host, making those Locusts feel utterly humiliated and useless for their 12-second existence. Excuse me? Do you guys see this? You can Revelation the dog? Oh, and a good disruptor shot too. Come on, guys. Seriously, you can cast spells on the dogs of Berlingrad? Who knew this? I know there's a big battle going on, but we have to talk about the important matters. ShoWTimE's battery overcharge is used, and he's going to completely clean that up and snipe off a few queens. Oh, Regicide. losing queens like it's a historical monarchy. This is out of control. Where did the dog go? Apparently, Revelation made him feel so uncomfortable he is gone. He's no longer on the map. I don't blame him. Disruptors are in the warp prism. Single shot moves forward and is cancelled by ShoWTimE, who picks the disruptor up in the prism. Okay. Lurkers are on the way for Serral. Lurker upgrades following. ShoWTimE just finished the DT shrine. We'll see if he wants to make Archons out of them or keep them as some great blinding cloud onto the Stalker force there. Bile's going to force everything back. This is a good choke point, though. Serral does not want to commit into that. Locusts are over here. They're doing some damage. Dark Templar are just looking pretty. Are they trapped? Are those House Templar? I don't think so. I think they can fit here. They're just unmotivated. We're in lockdown. Can't move. Oh yeah, they can move. They can get out. That's fine. ShoWTimE being very active with the oracles, keeping tags, literally, on everything here. Disruptor shot. Not going to connect with much. Viper pull onto an immortal. Not the usual target, but I like it. Very cost effective nonetheless. Not nearly enough force fields to keep the Zerg completely out, but enough to make Serral a little uncomfortable, it seems. Lurkers get on top of the army, abducts onto disruptors. Beautiful play. ShoWTimE bites back, though. Blinkstalker's moving forward, snipes off a hatchery with the DTs here. Overseer gonna morph in just in time to see all of its friends killed off. Well, this Nexus is looking a bit bruised. We need an SCV in here to repair this. There are no SCVs, though no help is coming to save you, ShoWTimE. Moving into Archons, he's really avoiding the Sky Toss, the air composition, it feels. Adding on some Charged Zealot Stalkers, gonna box reasonably well, actually, against the Locust. ShoWTimE, the Blink Micro's looking good. Serral debating moving in with the Lurker group over here. And DT's gonna get another cancel on the hatch. Oh, resources lost. Looking relatively even, actually. Serral's been able to maintain a good measure of cost efficiency with the swarm hosts. There they are. I was looking for them. Large group of charge slots moving around, and Storm is on the way. Could have sworn he already had Storm. Oh well. He's getting it now. Spire is on the way for Serral. I'm not sure what the Spire is really for, though. If there's an opportunity to get damage done with mutas, I wouldn't think so, because there's Archons. Storm is on the way. Phoenixes can be produced at any time. ShoWTimE does have a Stargate ready. Locust rotating around, they're getting some damage done over here. Zealots warped in and evaporate almost as quickly as they arrived. 9 probes gonna be picked off. Greater Spire, Broodlords, of course. ShoWTimE with favoring a ground-based composition until the presence of the fleet beacon about 10 seconds ago would be very vulnerable to Broodlords. However, with the fleet beacon on the way, ShoWTimE can absolutely transition into an air composition. Get rid of the Broodlords. Couple roaches. Not much else. Nidus Network too. Serral. Oh, the Locust complete. If you get Stasis after the Locust animation starts, it appears the Locust will finish nonetheless. So then you just have some very uncomfortable swarm hosts, made better by the presence of 15 Lurkers. That's a good army. Carriers are on the way for ShoWTimE, a fantastic answer if Serral didn't already have Vipers on the field. What's the anti-air like for the Zerg, though? Very minimal. There's only 10 Hydras, which are arguably not a good anti-air unit to start with. Viper Hydra can work, but I think Serral's going to want to make use of that Spire and flood some Corruptors once he knows about the carriers. Locust not going to get anything done there. On the charge lots, find the swarm hosts. What a pickup. That is fantastic news for the Protoss. They could be all killed off here. Serral's moving some lurkers in to defend though. Locust going to be spawned. Some of them will get away. Total losses, what was that, 5? 5 swarm hosts were killed off. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE just trying to rotate around, clear some of the creeps. Storms used against lurkers before they're going to be picked off. Storm not an ideal choice against lurkers. They're just so beefy. It takes like 3, maybe 4. I think it's 3 storms to kill a lurker. And since storms don't overlap, that's a lot of time. The lurker could just get up and walk away. Or waddle, I should say. They kind of waddle. Disruptor shots go forward. Couple lurkers gonna be clipped there. The lurkers are spread out decently enough. Oh, Serral, jeez. Moving them around. The Nexus is going to be destroyed. More Nidus networks going up on the right side. The Blink Stalker hit squad, feeling embarrassed and overwhelmed, gonna have to blink backwards. Oh, I'm sorry. They're advancing in the opposite direction. It's not a retreat. I should be more specific. ShoWTimE did show the carriers, and now Serral knows it's time to build corruptors. Bad joke complete. You're welcome. Continuing the carrier production despite showing it now. ShoWTimE feeling... Is he feeling confident or is he feeling backed into a corner? Economy is dwindling. The loss of the Nexus over here is a bit of a blow. This base is roughly a third in operation. Natural's drying up. Main is pretty much dead. So ShoWTimE needs to protect the economy a bit. Look at the banks. Serral swimming in money comparatively. Carriers are on the field, but Serral's got Corruptor Viper, which not only completely destroys carriers, but kind of makes them feel dishonored. Like, we spit on your ancestors kind of destruction. Almost gets the group of disruptors in the middle of the field. That might have just been game if that happened. But it did not happen. Lurkers moving up here. Swarm hosts going to join the fray. Lurkers are able to burrow. That's a lot of corruptors. Got to be careful with Storm. There's 5 High Templar still. Okay. Alright. Big battle. Lurkers moving around, trying to stay away from the disruptors. Viper pull onto the carriers. They're going to be gone. Corruptors, they're dancing. They're trying to keep away from the Templar. Lurker field just going to back up, and ShoWTimE actually going to tap out. Losing most of the army. The Viper abducts. They're getting rid of the carriers. I think it was maybe not that attack that was going to formally kill ShoWTimE, but it was probably the next one. Either way, a great game by both players. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I hope you have a great day.